Today, the Oscar race is very different from the race we've had in recent years. Streaming services are now in the race. And Pete Hammond, Deadline Hollywood, no Harvey Weinstein.
No, this is the first one.
So what do you think?
Well, you know, Harvey defined what Oscars were, really, when he came onto the scene late 80s with Miramax and movies like, at the time, like My Left Foot, that suddenly started winning awards there. And that's because he would leave no stone unturned. He would drive his staff to all the ends of the earth to find that last Oscar voter. He did things that nobody had ever done before.
He sent chocolate feet to the Oscar voters for My Left Foot. I mean, that was the funniest, most crazy thing. And to follow up on the thought that you just posed here, which is that in subsequent years, his campaigners went on this Harvey diaspora. Cynthia Swartz, Lisa Tayback, all of these other Oscar consultants, Tony Angelotti and others, went out to kind of define the race, even though they were no longer working for Harvey.
That's exactly right, because I wonder why this year at the Toronto Film Festival I get calls from somebody saying, I'm giving this to you exclusively. Judi Dench just got a standing ovation before the movie started for Victoria and Abdul. And I want to give it to you now because when the movie ends, everyone's going to have it. And I'm thinking, why is that news? And then I'm thinking, who's over at Focus now? Former Weinstein,
Danny Weinstein.
employers, yeah, and employees. And so they have taken all of that thinking and sort of moved it into places we haven't seen it before. And now it's spread out everywhere. But yeah, this is definitely the first year without Harvey Weinstein bullying his way. And I'll use that word because that's what he did a lot with the Oscar race. You know, so it'll be a different landscape without him, whatever you think of Harvey Weinstein, and pretty much I don't think much of him. But
right now, do you think, could you ever foresee the day he could get back in?
No. I think this is so egregious. Everything that he's done, you know, is just, I mean, look, he's only the second person in history to be kicked out of the Academy, his beloved Academy. They don't want anything to do with him, and that was sort of what he wrapped everything around. I don't think you'll see Harvey Weinstein coming back in any way into this town. He's 65 anyway. Maybe he ought to just take Social Security. He may need it.
We just saw the head of Amazon resign under the fire of allegations of sexual harassment. Amazon is a good place to start with how it's all a new game now.
Yeah.
Last year, Manchester by the Sea had 6 nominations, 2 big wins, both original screenplay and, speaking of sexual harassment, Casey Affleck had to face those charges.
Who will be presenting the Best Actress award this year.
That's right. Yeah.
Irony of ironies.
Irony of ironies. So, in recent years, we've seen an overlap between the Oscars and the Emmys, like Netflix's The Square comes to mind, something nominated for both. My question to you is, in this very confusing landscape, is it all going to become one award someday?
You know, it could be if they let it. I would think that the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences need to tighten their rules to make sure that that doesn't happen, because it's supposed to be about movies. It really is. And if it all becomes blended and it's all on television the same day it's in theaters, you may be right. It may be just one big award they just decide on one day. But I think there is a difference between movies and television, and I think we have to separate the Oscars and the Emmys. Where they meld all the time is in the documentary categories and things. We often see those. OJ most recently, and Ava DuVernay's 13th were all big winners at the Emmys, all nominated, and a win at the Oscars. So there you do see it. So maybe if you're right, then that's the precursor to what could happen, because Netflix has just announced that they're going to have 80 movies next year. 80. That's unbelievable. Most studios have like 12 at the most for the whole year, but 80 would be like more than one a week that they're releasing, which is incredible.
And now they're competing in the feature film.
So this is a thing that's uncharted in this business, this kind of thing. And of course, Amazon basically has this kind of streaming entertainment to get shipping charges and things. And
right. That's true too. But
they want people to buy.
But now they're also on the feature side with doing these feature films like Mudbound this year for Netflix,
which is doing very well in the little beginning of the award season. It's winning. It was the audience favorite at the Mill Valley Film Festival. It's getting an award from Gotham, if you care about the Gotham Awards. These little things that are happening, it's getting mentioned, which is good for Netflix. And Meyerowitz stories they have as well, which is terrific. And I would say, I would guarantee you, if that wasn't Netflix, I would guarantee that Dustin Hoffman and or Adam Sandler could pull off nominations for that. The big question is, will the Academy go with a Netflix movie in that kind of category? They've never done it before, so we'll see.